a great engineering CV depends a little bit on the level, but if you're at sort of that more junior level, then what we're really looking for is like, what have you done that you didn't have to do, that you did because you were interested in it, it excited you, it was challenging, and you've gone and figured it out, and you've done something that's impressive, but just because you wanted to. And so that's really great. If it's a GitHub link or something, that's even better. If we can even look at the code, that's one of the really big ones. If you're more senior, it's really about the impact that you've had previously, or how you've sort of been able to scale your impact, within your role. So that doesn't necessarily mean that you've built a startup from the ground up or anything, but it means that you're always looking for ways to learn more, to do more, to have more impact, I guess.
Rarely I'm looking for evidence of continued learning. So desire, a technical passion. Because what that translates into is trying to always find better solutions to new problems, and the other aspect of where that's rarely helpful is from a wider team perspective. If you've got someone who's showing that progression in their own learning, they're someone that we get really excited about wanting to learn from as well. They're going to be the type of person that's going to share engineering best practices and look for ways of improving things. So that'd be the key aspect, and how that shows up. If you don't, it doesn't need to be through career progression necessarily, but if it's not through career progression, it should be clear, within one role, what are you doing that's, stretching yourself to always upskill.
When I interview engineers, I look for how curious they are. I look whether they dig deeper to lower layers. So for example, if they answer how to organize piece of code protected against data erase, and they use a Java synchronized block, I see if they're curious and know what's actually underneath this synchronized block. Great engineers usually very curious to understand that very low level, because that enables them to use the high-level concepts more efficiently. Also, what I'm looking at when I interview candidates, so that they actually thinking when they give me a solution, they give me the solution which scales in the future, or at least they mention where it is a problem for scalability.
Yeah. We've been very lucky with the kinds of people who have been applying at Partly. Something that's been rather interesting to us is that the students, people who have recently graduated and people who are in their very early stage careers, have been of an absolutely absurd level of quality. We have seen people that can program as if they've been working for 10 years. We've seen people who know things about algorithms that senior data scientists are sometimes lacking. And we've seen people with enthusiasm that you can feel radiating from them as they're sitting across you from in the interview.
Yeah.
We need all of those things simultaneously in the same candidate.
What will you say to get someone like that? Why should they join Partly, right?
The problems we work on at Partly use some of the most cutting edge technology that you will ever work with in your career. The environment at Partly is set up so that you will be able to do the best work of your career. I have no doubts that if you have the necessary foundational skills, the necessary motivation and the ability to learn, that the items that you will be able to write on your CV after working here for just 2 years will eclipse the rest of your CV for many decades to come.
Yeah, so some amber or red flags in a CV would be changing jobs too often, so probably chasing the money, not changing jobs often enough, staying where you're comfortable rather than sort of going outside your comfort zone. Listing a lot of technology and not a lot of problems, solutions, or sort of motivations, I think is quite a common one. Like, it's not too important if you've worked with 1,000 AWS products. What's more important is, okay, what was the actual hard problem you were solving, and And how did you do that?